Good morning or afternoon. Today we are looking at number 21, Hand Clappers March. And you do have a new concept in number 21, and that is this thing right here, highlighted in green. That is a new time signature. Now, before today, all of the time signatures that we had were 4/4, meaning that there were 4 beats per measure and that the quarter note gets the beat. In number 21, it turns into a 2/4. So that means the quarter note still gets the beat according to the bottom 4, but now, because you have a 2 in the top, there are now 2 beats per measure. And you can double check that. Measure 1 has 1, 2 counts, or 2 beats. Measure 2 has 1, 2 counts per measure. And then measure 3 has 1, 2 counts per measure. So there you go, so on and so forth. 2 beats per measure. So as you're playing number 1, it looks like you've got a breath mark 3 measures in. So take that one quickly like you're a swimmer, and then 2 measures later you have another breath mark. I would spend probably the majority of my time looking at these last 3 measures, and then other than that, navigating these breath marks. Now looking at the B part, you have another new concept. You have this thing right here. I have, for some reason, always thought that this looks like a tiny little dog, and those are his little legs, and then there is his head. I can't really explain why, but that looks like a dog to me. But what it really is a quarter rest. A quarter rest should sound to you very similar to a quarter note, and that is because it is the same, but it is silent. So a quarter rest is 1 beat or 1 count of silence. So if you were to go through this B part of this duet, each one of these little X notes represents where you would clap your hands, and then each little quarter rest represents where you would be silent. So in this measure, you would clap on count 1, you would be silent on count 2, and then you would follow whatever it says in each subsequent measure. Now there are 2 parts of this one that are a little tricky, and if you're not really reading really hard, you might make a mistake, and that would be right here, because you have 2 quarter rests in a row, so make sure you're counting, and then right here. These 2 measures in particular are, I think, intentionally tricky. You have a quarter rest, a 1 count rest on count 1. So to navigate that, I recommend that you stomp your foot on count 1 here to keep yourself from accidentally clapping on count 1. And then do the same thing here. Stomp your foot on count 1 of this measure, and that should make it easier for you to play it accurately. So I recommend on this one, listening to the recording of the performance a couple of times before you try to play this one on your own. That's really all that I have, but that's enough. There's a lot of information for number 21. So, of course, review anything that you need to review. Use the top of your book where it explains things in your little table of contents. And if you have any questions, please feel free to either ask your teacher in person or send a Canvas message.